Holy crap, there's a street view in here. Alright, so first thing I'm doing today is I actually got another wholesaler who sent me a property out in a city called Van, Texas. I swear, Texas has some of the weirdest city names. Van? If you live in the city of Van, I do apologize. I'm not looking to insult you, but come on. Van? Alright, but regardless. So, she sent me this property out in Van, Texas. This is like a tiny little speck on the map, just outside of Dallas. Never heard of the town before, but she sent me this property and said, hey, I have this deal. Can you take a look at it? Do you have any buyers for it? My first instinct is no. It's way out there. There's really no buyer traffic out in these secondary markets on the investor side. Some people still buy out there. It's hit or miss. You gotta find that right person. But I'm gonna take a look at this really quickly just to see what we're looking at. I don't think it's gonna work out, but if at anything, I'll just try to do her a solid and get it out there. Okay, so this one's hard. So small towns are really, really difficult to comp. Actually, let me just do this here. I'm gonna record my screen and interlay that with what we're doing here. Okay, now we're recording. All right, so here's this small little town here, small little property, sorry. So we have, it was a document type transfer of death deed. So that means that this person inherited the property. Let's see, when did they inherit this property? In 2020. So they inherited it back in 2020, height of COVID. But who knows what could have caused that. But now it looks like they're just wanting to offload it and be done with the property. So small towns innately are so hard to comp because a lot of times they don't have a lot of comps to start with. So you're going to be dealing a lot with just kind of this guessing game, or maybe you got to span the entire town before you can really tell kind of what the property value is. The rules break a lot when you deal with these smaller towns. But let's just see here. Let's see. So we're built in 1995 or 1478 square feet. Now I'm looking at the last year. Don't want to do that normally, but I'm looking at the last year. Let's see. I got this one here, number 5. Further out over here, it's not really comparable to us because it's in this neighborhood. And we're over here. I mean, we're like on the main street. Literally, we're on Main Street. But we're on the main road here, and we're right by this elementary school. So that hurts our value. And this guy is larger than us and newer than us. This is gonna be a difficult one. All right, now we got 3, which is closer to our age. It's within our bracket that we're looking for. Still quite a bit larger. Where's 3 sit? Let's see, 3. Again, it's kind of in the neighborhood. It's close to the funeral home, but it's surrounded by other houses. Within walking distance to a coffee house. I find value in that. Let's see. It is right up the road. That's a hard one to really say. Okay, so let's take a look at these 2. They're both on Pennsylvania. I'm gonna look at 3 first. Now with Propstream, the biggest problem with Propstream is it's not the MLS. So I can't like easily see the photos are on that MLS listing. I have to like try to go around and just try to find it, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, especially in these small towns. Zillow sometimes has them. No. We have no Redfin, which normally Redfin's a good benefit. Redfin only has it. Oh, here we go, realtor.com. So you gotta kind of search around a little bit. Let's see. This house is not in bad shape. Looks like it's on good sized property, so we got to compare that next. It's outdated, very outdated, which is going to be a commonality we're going to find in these smaller towns. Is they're not doing crazy blowout renovations. They're just, you know, lipsticking it, making it, you know, livable. You know, these kind of older communities, they don't really like to go big and bold. So let's see. It's clean. That's the big part. It's clean. All right, not bad. Let's take a look at this newer one, the 1965 build. Okay, this one has a red fin. Perfect. Pull that up. And this one is a lot more renovated. Okay, so that could be, that shows us there's something in here a little bit, right? So this one's more renovated, more clean, more refreshed, right? But the question now is going to be, what do we most compare it to? Do we most compare it to the older brick home, or do we compare it to this one here with the vinyl siding? You know, the veneer, as it's called, makes a big difference. So let's just take a quick poke at us. Let's see if we can get a street view. Holy crap, there's a street view in here. All right, so we are a brick home. Whew. This is not that guy next door. We are a brick home. We're a one-car garage. Not too shabby, to say the least. So we do compare more to the brick house than we do to the newer vinyl siding home. And again, we're on that main street with power lines. I mean, we got a lot against us. So it's really difficult to really peg in that value. I don't want to do this, but I am going to look just a little bit newer at this one that's like right next to us. Okay, this one's a two-car garage, brick. This could be comparable to us, just it's newer, and that makes it hard. But it's really well renovated. So they went in here and they really renovated the crud out of this thing. So that tells us if someone does come in and put a good renovation in, your value is going to be higher. So I don't like doing this too much, but I will use this as a comp versus this one. Let's take a look at Sycamore. Again, 6. So this one, I don't want to use this one too much. I feel like that's just definitely outside of it, but it's right here by a commercial community building. It's on our side of the main road, but it's not really close. All right, but let's just take a look at it just really quick. Just a poke at it. Okay, bigger brick, nice renovation. So that's not too bad. Now let's compare lot sizes. So that's going to be the other big factor. So this one here in Pennsylvania that was kind of newer, a little bit renovated, not too much. It got an okay value. I think the reason why it got that value is because of its large lot. Look right here. It has a lot size of around 24,000. That's like double what we have. Not exactly, but it's a huge lot. So we can't really compare with that one. Now these other two, we might be able to compare with a little bit better, but they're just still so much bigger than us. I'm gonna really use this one here in Texas Street. This is like literally right here next to us. And I feel like it's gonna have a similar obstruction of value because it's right there by the elementary school. It's not on the main road, but it's right by the elementary school and right by a church. So I feel like it could have the same, a very similar value obstruction that we have with ours. So I'm going to use Texas Street here. And it is a little newer and it is a little bit bigger, but we're going to use our little cool formula we have here. Okay, so you got about $15,000 less. 238, 360 minus 18, so about 220. Now, since we do have an age discrepancy, it's a pretty good one here too. I'm gonna be call it a little safer, and I'm gonna take 5% off of that. Oh, 220 times 0.95, and I'd probably call that 210. I think that sounds about safe. We call that at 210. Now I am gonna look here in a second to see what my person's asking for on this one, because I don't quite remember off the bat how much they were asking for this property. But if I look here at my text, she's going to show me kind of what she was looking for. Let's see. So she says the ARV is about 200,000. That's close. We got about 210 to 200. She's probably closer to 200. Estimated repairs of 30,000, maybe, depending on what we're looking at. Maybe. It's a hard one. So let's just look at our rough numbers here really quick. So she wants 208, right? So I got about 210 value minus 30. Let's see, 210. I might be able to sell this thing for 215. Maybe. Maybe a tough sell, but I think we might be able to do it. I think we're close. Surprisingly enough, I think we're close. The only thing that's really going to hurt us is there's currently a tenant in the property who's only paying $500 a month. That's hard. And they have a lease until next April. Now, again, a lot of new investors could buy this place and be like, okay, whatever, I'll offer you cash for keys, help you get out of the property, and you move on. Sometimes that works, but this is a family member, and those are the worst to get out of a property. So I could try to pitch it, but I definitely feel confident enough to run it and see if we can make a couple bucks on this deal. But that's how I'll take a look at something like this, where it's outside the city limits, not a whole lot of comps to really work with. I'm going to compensate downward on that lower end of the value scale. But yeah, van. Ugh, that's just van. All right. So did you get any value out of that? Is there anything beneficial that you saw out of what I did on this particular one that you might be able to take into yours? Now, keep in mind, this is not the normal kind of properties that I typically deal with. A lot of what we do is we deal more with institutional hedge fund buyers who have a very particular criteria, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to look at stuff like this when it comes along, because you just never know, right? You never know if this particular one may have some potential that you could push through. So I don't discredit or disqualify a lot of leads. Again, if it's something that fits into the buy criteria of the institutional buyers, I'm gonna look at that first. Barring none, I'm gonna look at that one first. But I will still look at something like this because you never know. We just closed one about a little over a month ago in city of Temple, Texas. Total burnout, where the place was struck by lightning and it's just a total trash out. Won't work for any of my institutional buyers. Most wholesalers like myself who focus on institutional buyers would have just totally looked over this. I didn't. We got that property, got it sold, sight unseen, made a good fat paycheck on it. Actually, one of our biggest paychecks of the year was done on that one. And that's great. I prefer that. I prefer that a lot, right? So I don't disqualify. I don't throw away any decent leads that could have potential to it. So if you have something like this that you're not quite sure of and you don't think you have a buyer for it, feel free to send it my way. I'll take a look at it. I'll run the numbers with you just so we can see if it's something that maybe you could work, maybe give you some different ideas of how you could work it and kind of work with it in that way. If you want to reach out to me on that, my contact information will be down below, and hopefully you found some value out of this. If you did, I'd love it if you left me a comment down below. Let me know what you took out of it. Let me know how I can improve these videos, and obviously subscribe for more. And I'll look forward to talking to you guys on the next one.